Okay, my friends, pleasant good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who are locked on, those of you who are having your lunch break at this point in time, I just would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to our program, Hardfacts, that is aired on Sentinel Media Broadcasting. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim, my co-host, Mr. Premchand Baldev. We are here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, starting time 12:15 in the afternoon. And my friends, those of you who are locked on, you are going to realize that the election fever is really and truly getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And today, those of you who are locked on, we would like to really and truly ask you all maybe one or two pertinent questions about what you are seeing. And maybe those of you who are locked on, feel free to call us at 372-2129. You can call us on WhatsApp, or you can text your messages for that number there. And my friends, we are going to relate to you, because Trinidad and Tobago, it is really and truly have escalated when it comes to this election campaigning. I have been around for many campaigns, many campaigns. And I tell you something, it seems as though this one is the mother of all elections. I tell you something, when we look at the lifespan of the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bissessa, knowing for a fact that she lost two general elections, 2010, 2015, 2020, and that would have been two general elections that the party lost under her leadership. And really and truly, it is a political life that she would be really and truly fighting to save at this point in time. And many of you who are locked on, my friends, you're going to realize that there are many things that has happened. When we look at the Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley, he won election twice, and maybe a lot of people were disgruntled and they were not really and truly appreciative of the way he conducted himself during that tenure. And I tell you something, because of not pressure alone, but because of communication and understanding what the people needs, what the people want, and so forth, he realized that the best thing for me at this point in time would have been to resign. And my friends, you would realize that our Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, he tendered his resignation. And those of you who are locked on, really and truly, today is your opportunity that you have. Today you have an opportunity to dialogue with us. And all we ask you is that, you all brand people by just looking at them, right? And I want to tell you all something. I've been watching, and the campaigning has become very nasty. Really and truly nasty, because I saw one, and I saw this one sector, and that would have been from the red, and I really and truly, I abhor that. I hate it, right? I've seen the yellow. They are doing the very sad thing, and even worse. And I abhor that. I hate it, because being the person I am, I'm not going to really and truly condone when it comes to creating or inciting violence upon each other, because after election, we are going to live, not we are going to live here, we have to live right here, because some of you who were planning to go to England and who were planning to go to America and all these places, you know for a fact that the visa restriction is very high, and chances are you are not going to be going to any one of those foreign countries unless you can speak Spanish. So again, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, myself, my co-host, Mr. Premchand Baldev, we are going to try to do justice as best as possible when it comes to really and truly mediating the political tension that is taking place at this point in time. So, Prem?
So, thank you very much, our Reverend Imam Rashid Karim, my very good friend. Thank you very much, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to the program Hardfacts. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, and a pleasant good morning to all our viewers. Good afternoon, to all our viewers on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. This is the program Hardfacts, and you can catch us, you can view us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from approximately 12:15 p.m. It is a 1-hour program, so you can view us on YouTube, on TikTok, and on Facebook, bringing you current events, what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago, what is happening in the Caribbean and the world at large also. But more so, at this time in Trinidad and Tobago, in this beautiful month of April, we would be focusing our attention on the political landscape, what is happening, the political tsunami, the political earthquake, the political overflow of, political water, so to speak. that is dirtying, the character of people and that sort of thing. Now, my friends, this program is a live, unedited program, as I usually say. When I come to the studio, if I see the Imam downstairs, I would just extend pleasantries to him. Imam, assalamu alaikum, and I come and I do my business. Up here. Say again, director. What is happening? Okay. Now, my friends, election campaign, there are two aspects of a campaign. One is to tell the population what you have done when you were in government or when you were in opposition for the past 5 years. Am I right, Imam?
Correct.
You are in
is
government,
right.
You need, one of the facets of election campaign is that if you are in government, is to tell the nation what you did for your 5 years. And if you are in opposition,
no,
you need to tell...
Today's a war room here.
Today's a war room.
It's a war room.
When you are in opposition, like the United National Congress has been in opposition for the past 9 years, you as the opposition need to tell Trinidad and Tobago what you have done, what you have achieved in opposition for your people. Likewise, the government needs to tell the country what they have done, what they have achieved for Trinidad and Tobago as the government. Now, promises, that is one aspect of it. The other aspect of election campaigning is to tell the voters of Trinidad and Tobago what you propose to do and how you are going to do it.
Okay.
So, we
got to fight in the studio today. What I'm telling you,
we're going to fight politically.
What we have to do is this. In this program here today, we have to dissect this and we have to really and truly, get the audience involved.
You take over from what I just said.
Get the audience involved. No, you can continue, but I want to get the audience involved. Let the audience know that they have a voice, because I tell you something, myself, Premchand, we are already branded as PNM. So we are asking the audience, 372-2129 to give us a call, because some people are saying this, and that happened, Johnny, lately. All the time we was UNC. All the time they accept us as UNC.
Imam, listen to me. The truth is a bitter pill to swallow.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Because I tell you something. I want to give a general advice to both sides of the fence, PNM and United National
That's
Congress.
it. That is what this
Let me tell you something here today, and I want you all to understand. Every single contestant, and I use the word contestant because some of you feel it's a beauty contest.
Yes.
So I'm using the word contest, right? Now, contestants. So those of you who are vying as a candidate in any area, stop listening to those activists in the area, because you know what's going to happen? You are going to lose like your predecessors. You know what is going on? I tell you something. The people who you are taking advice from, that is the reason why the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bissessa lost 2 general elections, because she listened to the same advisors. And you all who are going out there to really and truly campaign, there are 18 seats that's going to be won. There's 18 seats that is going to be won by the United National Congress. Stop listening to those activists in the community who tell you don't go by them because them is PNM, don't go by them because them don't vote. Don't take chain up from these people, because I tell you something, I am in this community. I'm an activist, not only in Trinidad and in Felicity or Charlieville or Monroe Road. I am an activist, generally speaking. I look at problems and I try to, resolve and communicate and try to bring to the attention of the people of this country what they're supposed to do. That's the reason why we are saying here the campaign has become nasty. The campaign has become really and truly polluted. And you know what? Everything is geared on race. Every single thing is geared on race. And we are being swallowed hook, line, and sinker. And that is the reason why today, this program, we ask you all, those of you who are, be real, be honest. Be honest. Are you liking or are you in condolence with the mode? Good day, I want to say to the UNC has lost respect, no morality. This is what the people are saying. And read that, Prem. Read that.
The text message came into the Central Media Broadcasting Studio. It goes like this. Good day. I wanted to say the UNC has no respect for morality. Is this why Kamala purged the UNC of all Hindu religious bodies? I vote in PNM this wrongs. And that is the sentiment of the caller and many people out there. That is their sentiment. Now, Imams, promises are being made on what both sides intend to do for the next 5 years. Right? That is their manifesto. Promises are being made, that is highlighted in their manifesto, and that is what is being spewed, so to speak, and belch off in the political platforms. No, my friends. All these promises that are being made, do you have plans and policies in carrying out these promises? That's number one. How are you going to raise funding, money to carry out these promises? Imam, you tell me something. Trinidad and Tobago is so naive, so gullible, so stupid to really promises is a fool's paradise.
Exactly.
So to speak.
Exactly. Like one of our texters here is saying that, you know what she's saying? Yes, the race thing is very nauseating. When we see, I see this and it's blatantly, I tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, there's really and truly basically two races, the East Indian race and the African race. And I want to tell you all something, you all have to understand this, that the people who divides us is the politician, and we have to really and truly relate to that. We have to be able to understand that. And you know something, we have to be able to be bigger than it. We have to be bigger than that.
Let me add something there, Imam. The people who are dividing us along the lines of race when coming to politics and general election in Trinidad and Tobago, their salary, their job is safe in the parliament. Win or loss, they have their salary to collect. They have their perks to collect. You understand? They sit in the August house, win or loss. Now, that is the point I was getting at. How are you going to fulfill these promises? The electorate don't want to hear that, Imam. You know what they want to hear? Mudslinging. This, that, and the next, and you clap and you ring bell and you blow whistle in the audience, and you make yourself a bigger fool. You leave them more arrogant and ignorant than you went there. Now, as all this is happening in Trinidad and Tobago, all infrastructural works, local government works and local government boroughs and county council have taken a backseat. They are on vacation. They're not performing anymore. The patching of roads, cleaning of waterways, the dry season here, this is the time to do all of that. Repair to bridges have either halted or taken a backseat in this time. Borough employees are forced against their will to attend political meetings. If not, you know the consequence and the results. There are 160 candidates or contestants, as our Reverend Imam just said, vying via 17 political parties for election into the House of Representatives. Imam, what it have so? What is the honey pull and the honeyness in that House of Representatives? In a small country like Trinidad and Tobago, just over 1 million people, 1,864 square miles. We have 41 electoral districts. 160 candidates are going. I wish I, was qualified to really go up in Imam.
Prem, you overqualified. Wait, tell me about you're selling yourself short.
No.
Let me tell you something. It has some candidates.
You have to understand what are the qualifications I am looking for in being a candidate.
Let me tell you something. I am an imam, right? And I tell you something. Trying to listen to this. Every time somebody asks me, hey, Imam, I'm looking for a nice girl for my son. And the next one go tell me, you know what they said? I'm looking for a nice boy for my daughter. And you know something? Trinidad and Tobago, what is the criterion for nice? The person must be clear skin. The person must have a work. Yeah. The person must have a house. And the person must... That's the kind of criteria they're using. In politics, my friends, people have to be truthful to their words.
That is what I'm coming to at.
No, Imam, basically, you have that.
Yes.
You're selling yourself short.
No, I'm not selling
yourself short. If I, Imam Rashid Karim, endorse Premchand Baldev, I endorse him under the criterion that he is a man of his word. That's it, finish. All the rest of things could rock so. Because I tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, majority of these people, when the spiritual head or their leader or their queen or their king say something, they say jump. You know what the question is? They don't ask the reason why. They don't say nothing. You know what they say? How high? Yeah. And that is the policy and that is the kind of people. I tell you something, we had 5 representatives. Dinesh Rambali, Anita Hayes, Rushton Pare, Rai Ragbir, and Rodney Charles. They didn't listen and jump.
Can you imagine a UNC candidate that replaced Dr. Rai Ragbir in Komoto Manzalena use a statement in a political platform that he has...
a passing through vagrant.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? That statement was not condemned by the UNC, neither by the political leader.
No, they won't condemn that, but if you,
right?
they hear something...
Dr. Rai Ragbir, a man of stature, a man of class, a doctor who is seen about people medically for the past 30 or 40 years. You, newbie, new boy come lately, Hey, you're still drinking your mother milk, you're still wearing a political pamper, and you refer to Dr. Rai Rugby as that. Hello, mister. Dr. Rai Rugby is my family.
I believe the people of Tabakit should rebel against them and don't vote for them.
Don't vote for him.
Don't vote for them.
Yeah.
Because I tell
He's
you something.
disrespectful.
Very disrespectful. And imagine that. That is Dr. Rai Rugby. I tell you something. When all of you would have been home and attended meeting and asking question, what time the leader come in, what time the leader come in, only to show the leader that you all are present, facelift, and after the leader sight you, you go away. We know, we were there since 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Dr. Rai Rugby would have been there from 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, preparing and waiting there, sitting down and waiting there, so that anybody in the audience falls sick, especially the elders, especially the infirmed, he would help them. And you come here and that, you know something, imagine this, Trinidad and Tobago, imagine this. You, the Tabakit candidate, the candidate for Tabakit under the code yellow, you go in there in your platform and you ridiculing your own brother who worked tirelessly to keep the United Nations. Imagine how they're going to talk about people who jump ship. They're talking about Larry Lala like as though, you know, he's a nothing. What about the service that he rendered in the past? You talk about this boy, Rambali. What about the services that they render?
Men who sit in the parliament of this country and had the country progress at heart. You are referring to these people as vagrant. Hey, rocks over your... Look.
Let me tell you something again. You have men, we're talking about live sport program under the UNC. What about those things? Why can't you open your eyes and really and truly start thinking the truth? Let me tell you something. You win, loss or draw. Let me tell you something. If the United National Congress win or the PNM win, let me tell you something. The hard-working citizens of this country, the business community will have to face the brunt of the sword. Where is that the United National Congress going to get money from? Where are they going to get money from?
They're not telling the people that.
Making false promises.
Yes, exactly.
Let me tell you something. The PNM go there. Let me tell you something. We are already reeling from certain hardship. And they are the ones who qualify at this point. In 10 years, maybe they didn't facilitate it. Maybe they have their plans now. Maybe they prepared now. Maybe at this point in time, they would like to, you know, remove the curtain and let you people know what is going on. But you all can't wait. Nobody can't wait. We want it now. We want it now. So we're going to take a fresh start, go up the same thing again, borrow money, lost the election in another 5 years, and PNM take over again. Because you look at the trend, 5 years, 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, and leave the country with a lot of burden, with a lot of burdens. And then PNM had to come in there and raise the tax, do this,
and carry bad name.
pay,
and
carry the bad name. And you know what? You know what, my friends? You all, let me be real and honest. Kamala Prasad Bisasa, yes, she built highway, she built police station, she built bridge. I was part of it. I took in that and I understand that. But again, when she lost the election, who is going to pay the bill? Who is going to pay the bill, Trinidad and Tobago? Who has been paying the bill for the last 10 years? Do you want the Chinese to come and take the port? You all want the Chinese to come and take the hospital? What do you want?
Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back to the program Hardfacts on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. It is very, very hot in the studio here, my friends. Now, for the past 9 years, the opposition, which is the United National Congress, led by the Honorable Kanra Prasad Bisesa, has been pestering and calling on the government for international observers for the general election coming. 2025, they are coming. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Stuart Young, has made all arrangements to facilitate them, and they are coming. So your excuse that the EBC is so, and the EBC did so, and the EBC thief, that is out of the window. Now, my friends, to one who has been honored, infamy is worse than death. To one who has been honored, and to fall a victim to shamelessness, lack of integrity, lack of credibility, lack of self-pride, only to hold on to political power, regardless of your mental and physical health. My friends, a time comes in our life when, Imam, if you do not let go of power and authority will let go of you.
Exactly, because I have been seeing it, and I've been saying that Trinidad and Tobago.
Dr. Kid already, he bowed out, in all glory and went his way. Time for many others to do so.
Prem, you good?
I go ahead.
Take a break. Take a break. Drink some coffee or drink some water, right? Because I see like your face, like it's purple. It's purple with stress. Okay, so,
go ahead.
Trinidad and Tobago, very, very important discussion is being held here. You know something? We could campaign, yes. We could pull this campaign, we could go through this campaign, and do not allow yourself to be seduced by the devil and allow yourself to be sold short. You have to understand that after the election day, we have to come back together. I tell you something, the animosity and the hatred and the malice, right? And the debasement, will go beyond. Why can't you be like Jack Warner, Trinidad and Tobago? Why can't you be like Philip Alexander? They abuse Kamala the worst. Right? You look at that Facebook, it will tell you that evidential proof is there. Jack Warner, the very setting. They malign the woman character 1,001,000%. And lo and behold, they're sitting down next to her. That is politics. That has nothing to do with morality. Politics have no morality. That's the reason why today we have to ask people like myself, people like Prem, people like the right-thinking citizens of this country, we should not allow ourselves to lose the battle against morality. We should stand up against it. What they are doing, hold them to task. You're making promises and you can't keep it. That is what you're all doing. You know what they're saying? They are saying, we're not going to devalue the money. They are saying that. But when you look at the fine writing, like when you go Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who have a banking account,
you don't read the fine print.
Those of you who have a banking account, you write your thing here, you have your $2-3 million in the bank. You know if that bank fall up, all you get in is 50,000. Did you read that? Did you all read that? So
no.
we are hearing 1,001 promises coming from the both sides. But you see the PNM, we could understand that they fail and disseminated, as you all would say. So they have no other excuse now to just do positive thing. Do positive, because I tell you something, there's a change in Prime Minister. And the Honorable Stuart Young made some claims and some promises, and I think we should, really and truly adopt it and understand it. What is it Kamala has made differently, said differently? Yes, we're going to win. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We did it in the first. We did it in the second. And the same advisors advising her now. You imagine the PSA president, right? They drag mannequin. We have to be careful. People wrote all kind of nasty stories that they degraded the Hindu woman and all these things. We have a caller. Let's say we call. We continue after.
Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to the program Hardfacts. Go right ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call, Prem and Imam. What I want to highlight, I'm a UNC member, right? And I want to say that it's the greatest hypocrisy in the party, and we as UNC members are taking this thing lying down, that the leader of the party could embrace, until recently, the former PNM AG, John Jeremy, to come and support her and prop her up, when you have members who are UNC to the core, like the MP for Shogunas West, Dinesh Rambali, you have Mr. Parry in Mayaru, Mr. Ragbe, who did human service to the party. We have observed him for years in the UNC. And Anita Haynes, one of the brightest persons in the party. She might be even brighter than the leader. She had discarded them to embrace people who had criticized her and dragged her effigy in Port of Spain and called her the worst of names. One like foul-mouthed Alexander. And she had also had at one time Gary Griffith. So, we have to consider all these things when we go to the polls on the 28th, that the supporters of the UNC, the loyal supporters, have to get their heads screwed on correctly and make the right decision on who they really want to lead this country. So I have no fear in saying that the PNM is heading for another victory, and the UNC, because of their own misdeeds, will lead us into the 15th year of opposition. And if that is not something that will open our eyes so that we can take some action, I don't think there will be anything that could be done for us. We are just destined for opposition for the rest of our lives. And that is my contribution.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much.
So those of you who are locked on, feel free. Like we have one guy talking about educating yourself and so forth. Justin Paul Passan, Manin did build a building, but that is what the UNC turned to a hospital. You see all those information here. Now I tell you something, not everything that you see on social media, you have to believe it. You have to investigate it. This program is called Hard Facts. We investigate, we try to understand. Let me tell you something, last week I went to Tunapuna. People saying this and that and the next. I went to Tunapuna last week. I went to Mayaro. I went to Maruga Tableland. That's where we went.
Yeah,
we went there, Maruga Tableland. And we moving around. And you know what we're doing? We gathering information, intel. Right? And we are thinking to our own selves, what is it really happening at this point in time? And everywhere you turn, there's a certain element. People really and truly, the one who vote really matter. These are the ones who staying quiet. You see all them people outside there? All those people outside there, some of those people who are being paid 40,000, 30,000, 20,000, either to do this, to do that, do the next. I tell you something, that doesn't matter to me, but the point here is, many of those people, they would not even go to vote. They would say, okay, here what? We go vote when we come back. And they will dance, and they will never reach the polling station. If you are loyal, go and vote for who you want early in the morning. Let's take a call.
Let's take a call. Caller, welcome to the program Hard Facts. Go right ahead. You are live.
Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about this coming election. We have a prime minister there for 9 years, now going into 10 years now. He's in government. And now he's talking about reducing the taxes of the old age pensioners, what the leader of the opposition had really said. He only repeating what the leader of the opposition said. What it is new that he's going to do that he couldn't do in 9 years' time? What it is now that he's going to do? Check every road in Trinidad. Every single main road in Trinidad. It's very deplorable. Check from San Fernando to Maruga. Check that road. How much landslide, how much potholes. Check Princestown. Every road going to Cedras. Check the roads there. Not a single road in this country is good except for some in the east-west corridor where PNM diehard contribute to the PNM government. What it is the prime minister is going to do now for us? Okay. Is there any guarantee that we're going to get what they are saying? Okay. They're just trying to mama-guide the population. we already made up the mind who we are going to vote for. Good. And we don't see PNM going back there again. Okay,
caller.
We welcome that call.
We appreciate the call. Thank you very much. And those of you who are really and truly listen to our program, 372-2129. Again, listen carefully. When you look at the budget allocations, Trinidad and Tobago, let's be real. Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of people complain about the roads and all these things, right? Very well. We driving in the same bad roads. But the problem here, we have to understand that you have an opposition, right? People suffering for the past 9 years. What did you do to motivate, to agitate, to really and truly bring forward those situations? Because when a protest is called, you might see one time you might see the area representative and you can't see them again after that. because they feel that we do enough already. Why we must go and burn in the sun? But remember the central government of Trinidad and Tobago.
Imam, I have no comment to that.
Go ahead, take it over, Prem.
Listen, every year, monies by the billions are allocated to each borough corporation under the banner of central government, under the banner of local government, so to speak. All right? These monies under local government are really, really meant to be expedited in the best manner possible to get the best value for money by the different mayors and councillors and that sort of thing. So road fixing, cleaning of drain and that sort of thing is really, squarely on the shoulders of the different mayors of the different corporations. And, there is a borough corporation that sent back money. There is a borough corporation that is being run under the banner of the United National Congress. Information coming to this, they send back money to the treasury, ma'am.
Yes, and this is why today, that is why we always mention this. Those of you who would like to support whoever you want, that's your prerogative. That's your rights. You understand? And if you feel that, what we are saying here is leaning more on the PNM side, you could think that we don't have a problem. Because I tell you something, right now we are branded because I tell you something, the area representative, the guy who is walking the area, the people who guiding him, they are guiding him to strategic homes and strategic businesses, and they are not visiting the general populace. And that happened in the past. And I'm calling on Kamla Prasad Bisesa and even Stuart Young to do the very same thing. The caller who is calling here, please call the other line so that we can pass it through. We're going to pass it. Don't call this line. Call that line there, 372-2129. And we're going to pass it through because we are nothing to hide here. If you're supporting the United National Congress, feel free. You're supporting the PNM, feel free.
That's
you're
what this
supporting
program is all
Patriotic
about.
Front,
Yes.
feel free. Whoever you're supporting, feel free to call and identify, because last week we brought up something where Makela Pandey was walking with her team in Kuva, and they chase the people away. They run them like dogs from going under a pavilion to get shade. If that is the level of individuals that we have in our country, people, young girls going to take a little shade, right? You run them. You have no remorse, no mercy, nothing in you all. And people will be texting. We don't have a problem. Shoguna's Borough Corporation get around $300 million.
Listen to that.
This is what the caller is telling us here. The Shoguna's Borough Corporation, they get over $300 million. And let me tell you something. There's a bridge waiting to break down. That is the Woodford Lodge Bridge. Where it is that the councillors of the area, the MPs for the area, when is it that they're going to really and truly motivate the people and come out and bring that to the government of Trinidad and Tobago? Well, hear what? This bridge is a priority. When the bridge break down, and the same thing happened with Bridal Road Bridge. They wait till the bridge break down, no proper representative, they stay down. You know what has happened?
Yeah, but if not for Sentinel Media Broadcasting, that bridge would not have been highlighted and rebuilt.
We put heat under their feet. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, when you and I, the lay citizen, the normal citizen, we are fighting each other, and we hate this one because he wearing a red, and we hate that one because he wearing a yellow, and we hate each other. Let me tell you something, the real politicians who benefited in this country from high and good wages and perks and benefits and PBR passes and all these things, they don't fight, It's only people like you and I watch each other and we spit in one another
because
face.
Imam, the ordinary citizen does not understand politics properly.
And we have to learn to really and truly have diplomacy and decorum. Why it is that we fighting each other? You all saying, okay, you all saying the code is yellow. You all saying we red and ready and we responsible, right? Let it be. Let it be. Where the chip fall, let it be. But you all have to understand, for the longest while, when you had problems in your community representative was not there. Now is the time now. All they're doing, you know what? The people in the area, hey, politics is a really...
Imam,
I want to dissect something for you.
Let me say something before you go forward. Let me say something.
Go ahead.
I'm watching you again. You tell me again blue, you again green. And that's an Islamic color,
Yeah.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, for the past 9 years, right, a high-octane fuel gas was raised approximately 3 or 4 times. Where was the opposition? Well, your job is to oppose against that which is perpetuated, in a sarcastic manner, making life harder for the citizen. That is your job. Was there any march, Imam? Was there any protest action of a national level against the rising of gas price, against crime, against anything at all? When you don't protest, it means everything is honky-dory, everything is going smooth. Where was the opposition then?
Exactly.
Where was Kamala Prasad Bisesa then? Or is it that, let me not say that.
Okay, so my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, what we are discussing here is real issues, real issues. And my point is that I am seeing like, you know, it seems as though, and let me be real here. Let me be real here and honest. Right? You're going to realize that all those social bloggers is of one race. And you know, the East Indian will go and blog. But they wouldn't tell people to take strap and strap it on. And they wouldn't do this and they wouldn't do that. But you're hearing a certain race of people coming outside there, and they, you know what they're doing? They're brutalizing, and they're brandishing, and they're saying all sorts of nasty things, right? These are the very said people who came out from a certain political party. Now they change it, now they're gone, the code is yellow, and you're hearing a little difference. And let me tell you something. If on the night of election, the PNM should win, you're going to hear that same song twisting. Because I tell you something, the last election, there were people who were wearing yellow, and they benefit, they eat, they drink, and they marry. And you know, the night of the election when they lost, the very sad night in Renzi complex, right? The first time when they lost, you know what? Fellas, just pull out the yellow, put on a red, and say, let me go up so. And they're going to a fet and party. That is what you call nimaharamism. That is hypocrisy. We don't do that. We don't even waste time going for no refreshment. We are people who really and truly understand the hardship and the suffering that this country is going through. The business community at this point in time, I tell you something, being a businessman is 10 times hard. It's 10 times harder than 2010. And don't only say it because of the PNM. You have to look at the international cycle. You have to look at the tariffs. You have to look at all those things. You know what is taking place around the world. Look at how many wars are taking place. And all these things are generating monies from certain countries. And those countries need to really and truly recuperate. And the best way to do that is tariff here, tariff there, tariff here, tariff there. Raise this price, raise that price. To benefit, my friends, while you and I today, if this country, just say, a war break out, we have to go and, you know what? We have to go back to the drain conchs and the sea crab and the red crab. And you know something? We got to go back to the dashing bush. We got to go back and plant rice. You know something? There's no rice land again in Trinidad and Tobago.
No.
There's no sugarcane land again because you know what? It's concrete jungle. Everybody want to build house and mansions. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, let us be real. Let us be real. You have to weigh the option. You have to weigh the option. I'm getting some really and truly important, information here. And I tell you something, if I could really read from here and read from there, it would be so good. But my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who are locked on, Trinidad and Tobago is a beautiful place. The people in this country are beautiful people. Do not let yourself to be divided by the political sway that's taking place in this country at this point in time. Because after 5 years, you look at the trend, after 5 years, what is going to happen? You understand? When you look at it, you're going to look at it, the people who finance it, they are the ones who are going to benefit. And people like us, we had to work double time, triple time to get money so that we could be able to pay taxes and pay this, pay that, and pay the next. And you know something? They would be eating ham, lamb, and jam while you and I suffer. So my friends, let's take a break, please. And when we come back, my friends, we are really and truly going to light it up. friends. Special Wednesday afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. We would like to thank you all, those of you who have supported our program in the past and those of you who are supporting us presently. And when I say support, this studio is run. We don't ask anybody for any contribution. We don't ask anybody for any monetary contributions at all. All we ask you all to do is contribute, yes. Contribute with information that it will be, don't call here and quarrel and cuss and get on obscene language. And no. Tell us how we can build our country. If you are saying PNM suffer we for 9 years, prove it. You are saying Kamla Prasad Bisesa going to do something better, prove it. That is the information. Tell us. But before you do that, we brought up something here on this station and a caller sent that for us, right? And they said, Imam, we want you to highlight this. I said, what? And they said, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, she build hospital, she build road, she build this, she build that, she build the next. Okay. You ask the question and the caller tell me to ask the question, where did she get the money from, number one? And did she pay for those buildings, those hospitals, and all those projects, stadium this, stadium this, that, the next? Did they pay for it? Who had to pay for it? The PNM had to pay for it. And that is what the caller said, and that is the kind of information, because you know something, many people told us, and they're telling us constantly, because we have a TikTok live running there, and we have a TikTok live running,
and a Facebook
we
live.
We have Facebook, we have YouTube, and we live. And if you look at the top there, you're going to see 1,700 people are with us at this point in time. And we ask you all here what? You see the violence thing, and you see the threats thing, and you see the kind of the race thing, that we should get rid of that. And like a certain individual, hey, don't talk about that. That doesn't bring any benefit. Talk about things that could unite the tribes, because this country is tribal. 18 seats, 20, 36 seats are tribalistic seats, whether you like it or not. Some people vexing because Stuart Young is what? Stuart Young is a Chinese, Stuart Young is a Indian, Stuart Young is a Douglas. Who is really Stuart Young? I saw him, I met him. He have a kind of curly hair, right? He have a clear skin face. But I tell you something, when you meet him and you realize what's going on, all the African people gravitating towards Stuart Young. So I don't see any race.
I said that in our program some months ago, right? That any new leader that comes in, into being of a powerful political party, people tend to gravitate towards a new leader because they expect, right? New policies, a new vision, so to speak, for the party and for the country, and they themselves will benefit out of it. Now, my friends, there is a narrative, or there has been a narrative, by the United National Congress and people at large who don't know, who does not read and, and get proper information, intelligence on what they say. Imam, there are people who, they like to only hear. And when they're speaking out, a partner tell me, oh, I hear. Where is that?
I want to read this. One of my the TikTok persons who join us.
He said, Imam, my mother is Indian, Spanish and African. So am I. Or who am I?
Okay, so Trinidad and Tobago, Stuart Young, when you look at Stuart Young, right? Stuart Young mentioned this, and I want Trinidad and Tobago to know this. He used a word, that is a word that he used at the Diplomatic Center last week, on Saturday, I believe. And you know what he said? Every creed, every race, every religion will have an equal place. And that is what we're going to hold him to task for. Don't feel that we come in here and we come in to play and mama guy. We are here for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. If you want a good politician, you have a good politician in Imam Rashid Karim and Premchand Baldev.
We would be rejected.
But
because we have good values.
We wouldn't get screened. No. I remember this. I went for screening under a certain party, and they're asking me if I have a firearm. They're asking me what is the price of turkey. If you this and if you that. I say, wait now, I come here thinking that I'm going to be screened positively about how you're going to serve your community and that. Hey, Trinidad and Tobago, I tell you something, I said, I'm mama guy. So don't take mamagism.
Chain up.
Don't take chain up, people. You might get something now, but they're going to take back all that. You know what I vex for? Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. Why I just be vexed with politicians. And I talk about politicians, I'm not talking about only one group of politicians. I'm talking about all the politicians. You know something? They have a way with themselves. Election time, you know what? They give you 100% attention. And if out of election mode, let me tell you something, these very said people who claim to be politicians with high morality, you know something, they're in the office, and they will tell people to say that, you know, we're not here, or we're in a meeting, or we're here, and we're going out, and we're doing this, and we're doing that. That is the, you know what, that is the hypocrisy that have Trinidad and Tobago. I don't have a problem. You have a prime minister, the prime minister say, okay, we have to raise the price of fuel. No problem, come out and tell us. Don't just go and laugh and say we're raising the price of fuel. Tell the people why we have to raise the fuel price, because we have $150 billion to pay off. And if we don't pay off that, the people who we take loans from, they're going to take the country.
Now, Imam, hear this, eh? There's a narrative, or there has been a narrative over the years, that the Kuva Children's Hospital has not been opened and is non-functional. Now, that is a big lie, Imam.
Tell them the truth,
right?
Tell
that
them
is
the
a
truth.
big lie. Because last year, when I contracted COVID and dengue at the same time, I'm strong enough, boy.
Yeah.
President.
And they want to marry again.
Oh, you mean? I'm going to Nepal. Hear this joke. Yes, I went to that hospital and I was given the best treatment that one could ever, wish to get at a public hospital in Trinidad and Tobago. That hospital is functional.
Stop. You'll continue. The people who are doctors and nurses there, what race they belong to?
The all races, Imam.
Right. So tell Trinidad and Tobago that.
I have their names somewhere.
Tell Trinidad and Tobago that
there's not only Indian Day or African Day, and I was so, I was there, and they treated me with parental love, and then one of the Imam employees got sick about a month ago, and I took him there, and he was of African descent, and he got the same treatment. He was well taken care of. That children's hospital, my friends, you go there. There's nothing medically that they don't see about. And if they are unable to, with further tests and whatnot, they will refer you to other medical institutions. Now, as the Imam was talking about politicians in our country and promises that have been made and how you're going to carry out these promises, someone texted a message on my cell phone. He said, Prince Chan, listen, a law should be made and passed and approved in Parliament for all politicians. And that law is, let me get it here, that law is for politicians, that they must be held accountable for the promises they make in their manifesto and in the political platform. Failure to carry out these promises when they are elected into office must result in the seizure of their assets, local and foreign bank accounts, and a stiff jail sentence. Because they are accustomed to telling lies, and we swallow the lies.
That and a blue falcock you'll never see.
In Trinidad
You'll never see that. Because places like China, when they do that, they go in jail. Singapore. But not Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is a different place, a different law for different folks. Different strokes for different folks. My friends, I want to tell you something. I'll be talking about this. Right? I remember this last election. We had campaigned vociferously for the people of, Barakpo. We campaigned to get that cemetery. And while we were campaigning, Prem, the PNM came in there, they bring the excavators, they bring the machine, and whatever, and they started that cemetery. 5 years later, Trinidad and Tobago, we have an Islamic cemetery, right? A cemetery that nowhere in the Caribbean has a cemetery like that. And that is in Barakpo. And people like us who campaign, call 372. Call your other number, 372-2129. We're not rejecting your calls.
Call the studio number.
Right, so those of you who are locked on, feel free, call the studio number, and we're going to respond. But I was talking about that cemetery, right? And you know something? Just about a couple of weeks ago, I went across there in Barakpo, and to look at the status and the core and what have you not. Really and truly, everything in this country had to be political. Everything. You understand? And right now there is a breakdown where a certain individual have stopped the work simply because he is saying that, there is a plaque on the wall, and that plaque shouldn't be there. And we're not going to, and a lot of things happening, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, and that is cause, that is cause for concern. When we fuel this, this hate, this hatred, and this malice during election, you tell me, Trinidad and Tobago, all these politicians who talking what they have to talk now, right? You know what they're going to say? Don't worry, after election, we're going to meet and make up and kiss and make up. They might do that in Parliament. But what about the ground floor people like now who burning banners, who burning jerseys, right? Who fighting each other, who cussing each other, who pelting bottles? What about these people? How are they going to kiss and make up? How are you going to rectify the after effect of this negative election campaigning that you all are doing? We are seeing it in the both sides, yes. But the point of question here is that the leaders have to come out now and say what? Hey, hear what? Trinidad and Tobago is one place, one island, one country. Equity must prevail. Everybody must benefit. The caller who call and talk about, you talk about landslip in Penal and this place and that. Yes, we know, we were there. But you look at it, millions were given to the corporations. The Princeton Corporation, the Penal Debe Corporation, all the corporation, they get monies to repairs. They get money for repairs. Why it is some of the corporation send back money. And we have evidence,
but
corporations
Imam,
send back money.
There are certain corporations in the Southern Peninsula, 7 years, and they have not sent in an auditor report of their expenditure. To let the auditor or the government know how the money was spent and where the money was spent. My friends, election have consequences. We hear the simple man on the street, who ranting and raving, and you're getting a little this and a little that on the side. You got to be careful, friends, because after election, we have to live here together. Look at Carnival time in Trinidad and Tobago. Look at Christmas time. Look at Diwali time. You understand? When Imam, all races come together for Diwali, for Christmas, for Carnival, for Pagwa, and that sort of thing.
I'll tell you something.
Why is it when election time comes, we have to fight
and
a
you
quarrel?
know something, right? The politicians of the day, they love when you and I fight. They love that. They love when we fight each other and we separate like a crab in a barrel syndrome. You all can't see that. You all can't open your eyes and see what is taking place in this country. They love it. Very few politicians really and truly have the country at heart. When we see this guy, Stuart Young is a new, fresh budding politician, right? And you know something, people like them, they will say he have $100 billion or whatever. That is his money. But what I'm saying is, if they have money, I don't think they want money again. Think about it.
They had to serve.
They had to serve now because you already have, you eat already, your belly full. You eat already, your belly full. What are you going to do? Vomit? And then eat again?
Yeah.
That is the policy of some people, but not what we are seeing here today. Trinidad and Tobago, let us unite. Let us try to unite. Victory has to come for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, not for one creed, one race, or one religious persuasion. And that is what we have been seeing in the past. Look at the identity of the both parties. And you're going to realize that one religious persuasion is not present.
And that's the Islamic
faith. Watch and see it for yourself. When you look at the composition, it seems as though the Islamic community is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. We have to take, the little breadcrumbs that fall from the table. You understand? The breadcrumbs. A little dinner here, a little food here, a little something here. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you all something. We have to really and truly stand up together, or we're going to fall for everything. We have to stand up together, unite our forces. The caller just mentioned here, right? That's it. We come together for everything else, but election time we divide. We come together for everything else, but during election time we divide. The politician knocking glass. All of them fighting what? They fighting whom? They're not fighting, they're knocking glass. It's you and I today, we are fighting each other, and that bullshit, I don't want to use this word, have to stop. Right? That have to stop. Right? And I tell you something, you see those activists, whether it be PNM or UNC, stop telling the candidates that one is UNC and that one is PNM, because I tell you something, you don't know how many people have been fooling you all. They say, okay, yellow, we yellow, the code is yellow, and when they go in the box, it's red is the code. And the very same thing, we say in here, red is the code, and when they finish, they go on, you know what? They vote yellow. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, let us be real, let us be honest, let us be people of resilience. Do not allow this stupidness, because after election, we have to traverse the very set pathway. Hardship or ease. Let me tell you something. A hurricane come in here, or a tsunami come in here, or a storm come in here, right? You think it's going to attack the code yellow or the code red? Everybody getting leveled down. So let us all try to understand that, right? I just want to leave you all with this one thing. Yes, Kamala Prasad says a bill, a lot of thing. She did a lot of thing. But who paid for it? That's the question. Think about it, digest it, and see if you all be real and honest. Come outside and say who paying for it right now? Who paying for it? Who paying the loans? So my friends, those of you who are locked
But
on.
Imam, you know, son, before you close the program, in 2010 to 2015, when the People's Partnership were in government, you recall those days, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They were in government with 27 or 29 seats. And in the 2015 election, they lost. From 29 seats in parliament, you lost to the People's National Movement, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa, and the United National Congress. Can you tell this nation, or have you done a post-mortem? Have you done any investigation into why and how did you lose? You understand? I think Trinidad and Tobago needs some answers to that question. And you came and you lost in 2020 when the People's National Movement was at its weakest after the COVID and that sort of thing.
And on the live here, I see a person saying never again the PNM, but just under that, people saying, yes, we are going to vote for the PNM again. So again, look at it. We're looking at the calls. You know, people are texting us on this side. One saying on this side here, one saying we vote in UNC, the other saying we vote in PNM. You know something? We could say that from now till next 100 years.
Look,
We could say that.
listen to this text. I am a first-time voter, and I am confused. I am from a strong Hindu background home, and integrity and morality and my religion and my religious beliefs, you know, are of very high morals with my parents and us. The quality of the candidates, the character of the candidates of a particular political party seems to be questionable. LGBTQ, right, and that sort of thing. Where do I stand? I reside in a UNC dominant area.
Okay, so understand, these are things that...
A first-time voter,
these are things that is happening in front of us. I just want to leave some advice to the political leaders of the party. The both sides, political leaders of the party. Right? Let me tell you something. You all have to understand is that the people of Trinidad and Tobago paying your salary. We didn't want to pay that high exorbitant salary to none of you all. But we have no choice. Right? Because there's certain commission.
SRC.
They did what they have to do. They final, they do the research and so forth. We can't fight that because here what? If we go and fight that, we're going to get the bracelet, the golden bracelet.
Yeah, but there are those who say they're not accepting it and it is not feasible. And you know, at this time, but they said, turn around and said they are forced to accept it.
All right,
what kind of hypocrisy is that, boy?
Let me just dissect that. Before we close, let me just dissect what Prem said. The Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa said that she is forced at this point in time to take that hike in the pay, right? I want to just say something. By chance, if Kamala Prasad Bisesa win the election, will she go back and reduce her salary? And that you cannot see that on a blue Falcock. Now, my friend, Trinidad and Tobago, before I close, I just want to leave some parting advice. You see all these hard-working activists, these hard-working activists, while you sleeping, they putting up banners. While you sleeping, they're doing this. While you sleeping, they're preparing this. While you doing this, while you are resting, and you come with a nice jacket and tie, and you're going to give a nice speech, and you want people to clap you up. And I think, let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. As a leader, you have to be a good follower. And I have seen this with my own two eyes, and I have experienced this, that the leaders of today, they have no morality. They use you, and they abuse you, and they chew you up, and they spit you out after they eat and benefit from you. And that is something that activists have to stop allowing that to happen when it comes to both sides of the fence. If you are a leader, you have to be able, just as how you listen to we now, and just as how we listen to you now.
Imam, you sound like you were a victim.
Forget that, I am a victim. Yes. But what I'm saying, I just saying this because this is why the blind man tell the person, don't walk there. Don't walk there. And you know what they say? Why you don't shut your blind tail,
yes.
Right? But you know something, the blind man telling you that, you know why? Because that is how he got blinded. He walked there, he fell in the hole, and he lost his sight. So that is the reason why I'm telling you this as political leaders of both parties. We're only talking about the both parties because the rest is really irrelevant. They're not going to win no votes, right? Maybe 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 200, 300, 55, 10, 11. But what I'm saying, the yellow and the red, right? Those of you who are leaders, try to appreciate the activists who put you in that position. Try to appreciate them and stop going through different medias because a man will have something against you and they will go there and give you a negative review like what happened to me. They will give you hey, you see that man there, don't study, he's this and he's that. And you know something? You as a leader should not take chain up from any of those activists because all they're concerned with is how much money they're getting from you and how much contract they're getting from you to be able to give to their own selves and their families. And that is something that activists should be able to share from the booty of the election campaigning. And if you win, whoever wins, the people who work for you should be called and, you know, really and truly be given a merit and thank you and appreciate them. Don't leave them after 5, 6 years, then election bell ring again and you're going by the same people again. You know why you're going back there? Because you have them in a position where they need the handouts. They need the hampers. They need the $2,000. They need the $50. They need that. You have them like that. You keep them at bay. And I'm telling you something. That is the reason why the country is down and under at this point in time, because of you. The very said people who are clamoring at this point in time and saying we're suffering and we're suffering. Why you all don't come out and do something good and start talking and motivating? Why don't you all do that? You don't do that. But you have everything to say negative, but nothing positive. So my friends, until Saturday, those of you who are locked on, share this video. Let people know that there is a voice in the wilderness who is crying out for justice, who is crying out for equity, and who is trying to make that difference so that the people of Trinidad and Tobago, every creed, every race, and every religious persuasion will have justice in this country of Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you.
And whoever wins, abolish the dreaded property tax.
Thank you very much. May God Almighty bless you all.